Hi guys, we are back with some more IMATS coverage from the weekend. Gonna have a couple of videos throughout the week, probably, or maybe twice. But anyway, it's a quick intro on the leading ladies of makeup effects panel. It's for the book Leading Ladies of Makeup Effects by my good friend Gary Christensen and Patricia. So I just wanted to give just a quick little intro about what the panel is about. I mean, the name kind of says it all. If you guys are interested in the book, I will leave a link in the description down below. And with that, enjoy the video, guys.
I guess you know we're the authors of The Leading Ladies of Makeup Effects. I just had my dream come true when I had 15 of the ladies out here having my picture taken with all, my major leading lady, my wife. We are actually still married after this whole process. I just wanted to say really quickly that, because usually the first question somebody asks is like, how did you come up with the idea for this book? How many people here have gone to makeup school? Okay, that's why. Literally, that's why. Because Michael Key would post these pictures on his Facebook page where he'd go to Makeup Forever in Paris or some other place, and there'd be like, the whole school standing there, and I'd look around and go, okay, there's like, 5 male faces and everybody else was female. And I just thought, no, I'm not going to write a book about the men again. Not that the men aren't fantastic. The men are fantastic. But I thought, you know what? There's never been a book about the women who did this work. And the schools are full of them. So I thought that's what we're going to write the book about. And so we have 3 things that we felt like the book was really meant to do. The first one is to honor all the women that have been award winners. So Oscar winners, Emmy winners. And we also want to honor some of the emerging artists that we've been tracking for a while. We also wanted to have the book encourage people who are in the trenches every day working. You may not be an award winner, but that's not why you do it, right? You do it because you love doing the work, and you show up every day to do it, and we wanted to encourage you all to stay in there and don't give up. And then the last thing was we wanted to inspire all the students, or the ones that are sitting at home going, gee, I wonder if I should go to makeup school. And it's like, yes, go to makeup school. Why not? So it's to be an inspiration. So that's what the book is about. It's about honoring, encouraging, and inspiring women makeup artists.
In the 2 years that we've spent writing this book, and we've met these fabulous women, and we've spent time with them, and in this time, we've decided or determined and found out that they are determined women, they are passionate women, they are talented women, they're absolutely determined to do what it is that they do best. And they have forged brand new roads that haven't ever been done before. And these women represent this. These women are empowered, and they are empowering. And we're thrilled to be able to share them with you. So, what we're going to do is now introduce our leading ladies.
So just to be fair, we kind of shuffled the cards, and as we thought, we don't want anybody to feel like they're any less than anybody else, so we're just going to go with this. So, our first lady that's coming on stage, she runs her own makeup shop here in LA called Nocturnal Designs. It's a women-run shop, which is one of the first that I know of. And she also has a work-study program that she does with women specifically for her shop. She's been working on the makeup effects web series Making a Scene with James Franco. She was a season 12 Face-Off finalist. And she went to cinema makeup school, so maybe there's an alumni. And her name is emerging artist Casey Mussman.
Okay, the next lady is a 3-time Emmy nominee and a 3-time winner of 3 Emmys, obviously, for The X-Files. She has 2 nominations for Guild Awards and 1 win for the X-Files. She currently is the department head for Better Call Saul, and she was also department head for Night Shift. Sherry Montesano.
Okay, our next leading lady is, she was department head for a film that's coming out very soon that stars Doug Jones, who's in the news for everybody. A film called Nosferatu, which is a remake of the old silent film. And she's been working this last year on Walking Dead, and she's been doing like back-to-back horror movies out of her shop that she has at home. And she also went to cinema makeup school. Mo Meinhardt. She started, right?
Okay, the next leading lady is the leading lady of sketch comedy. She has years and years and years at Saturday Night Live, Mad TV, and she's currently working on Walk the Prank, all sketch comedy. She has 14 Emmy nominations, 1 win for Mad TV, 11 Guild nominations, 5 wins for Mad TV, currently working on Westwood. Our leading lady is Jennifer Aspinall.
All right, our next leading lady has been nominated twice for an Oscar. She won for Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. She was nominated for an Emmy for Sons of Anarchy. And yesterday, in the Orville panel, we found out that she's going to be the department head for the 2nd season of Orville. Oscar winner Tammy Lane.
Okay, our next leading lady was department head for The Clearing. She was the department head for the Gucci International Fall Campaign. She was makeup artist on Orville. Legacy Effects, she was paint team for Avengers Infinity War, and she was a face-off participant for season 6. CMS student, and one of our emerging artists, Chloe Says.
Our next leading lady is an Oscar winner for Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. She also won a BAFTA award for Alice in Wonderland. And in the last year, she's been primarily doing commercials and press junkets and other things around. And her name is Oscar winner Valley O'Reilly.
Lady was nominated, had 1 Oscar nomination for Scrooge. She has 22 Emmy nominations and 6 wins for Nip Tuck, Grey's Anatomy, Tracy Ullman Show, and Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. She is currently the executive producer for the film Making Apes, the artist who changed film. Our leading lady, Barry Dryban Berman.
All right, our next leading lady is nominated 11 times for Emmy Awards. She won twice, once for Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and another time for a TV movie, The Stand. Woo! That's there. I get it. Am I going? Okay, good. But now she's a beauty entrepreneur, started her own line of special beauty products. Things that she learned to use doing silicone prosthetics and now uses them to do anti-wrinkle and aging products. Silkskin. And her name is Leading Lady and Emmy winner Camille Della Santina.
There you go. Our next leading lady was department head for Forever Boys. She's worked on Bright, which may well receive an Oscar nomination, Feud, Teen Wolf, American Horror Story, Roanoke, Nosferatu. She's also, she's also a cinema makeup school graduate, one of our emerging artists, Erica Preyes. Oh!
But Erica was also the only woman who knew about everybody in the book before anybody else did, because she was our editor on the book.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, I'm next.
You're next.
Interrupted myself. This Oscar winner won an Academy Award for Dallas Buyers Club. She also won a 706 Guild Award for Dallas Buyers Club. She's a makeup ambassador for Makeup Forever, and she's developing a product line with Lita Beauty. Robin Matthews, Oscar winner.
Okay, our next lady, and they're all ladies. It's just been such a joy, I can't even tell you. Anyway, our next lady has 30 Emmy nominations. She has 6 wins, American Horror Story Hotel, American Horror Story Freak Show twice. We know who's coming. American Horror Story Roanoke, Feud, and Normal Heart. She also has 6 Guild Awards, 5 American Horror Story, and 1 for Scream Queens. Who is this? Erin Kruger Makeup.
Okay. Next is another one of our emerging artists. She, this year, was nominated as part of the team for American Horror Story Roanoke. She just had a film open, Insidious: The Last Key, where she was co-department head. She was department head on the last few seasons of Teen Wolf. And she's done a pilot for a new Marvel's The New Warriors, where she's department head. And she's been working with Aaron as makeup artist on 911. She's a graduate of makeup designery, Carly Herbert.
Our next leading lady has 12 Emmy nominations and 3 wins. 1 for Star Trek Next Generation and 2 for Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Karen J. Westerfield.
Okay, we have one last lady to bring up on stage. She's an Oscar winner. She's actually the first woman makeup artist to win an Oscar in 1983 for Quest for Fire. And she was the first woman to win 2 Academy Awards when she won an award for Bram Stoker's Dracula. She's been nominated 6 times for Oscars. She's been nominated twice for Emmys and won once for Alienation, 4 BAFTA nominations, 2 wins for Cyrano de Bergerac and Quest for Fire. Oscar winner, Michelle Burke.
Are we blessed to be on stage with these women? It is just so cool. I'm almost speechless.
What everybody said, I think experience is a huge thing, obviously. So get out there, work as much as possible, get yourself out there. look at all the people that came before you, all the amazing artists that came before you, and what they've done and the work that they've done, and kind of learn off of them and get yourself educated. Like Leading Ladies book, it's so awesome to read about all these guys in this book and see what they've done and the struggles that they've dealt with and the way that they've overcame them. And coming to stuff like IMATS, to Monsterpalooza, doing networking, doing all the things that there are. That's my take on that.
Maybe Ms. Burke has something to say.
It's complex because it's a journey that you make, and it's a journey that you make in a way alone. It's not the type of career that you take on where you feel you're joining a company or something. That basically it is a loner trip. But of course you have your friendships and your associations, and it's great to network and know other makeup artists. But I think the main thing is know that what you're doing is you and you alone. And also what you should do is really focus on what you're good at and know your assets. Know which skill you have that's your best skill. Because some people are better at more hair stuff, some people are better at more specialty or beauty. And these days people are specializing. And I think it's good to know that and know where your forte is and really stick to it and advance with that. But the main thing too is, just like everybody else said, is learn as much as you can, because the more skills you have, the better you will be at what you do. You know, take up painting, take up sculpting, as Barry says, learn what's under the skin to understand what's above the skin, and perfect your career. And network is a big thing, of course, and friendships help. But in the end, you're on your own, and you've got to just go for it.
I thought I just had really good seats to years of experience. Now I have to talk. I would say, listen and, you know, learn. If you don't know how to do something, ask questions and bring people on to your project that know more than you. Surround yourself with people who know more than you. Learn from them and ask them a lot of questions.
Tammy?
Be ballsy and take risks. Because every single one of these ladies has taken a risk, and risk after risk after risk, and they haven't stopped. And that's why they're so successful, and that's why we have these emerging artists, because of risks and appreciation of all the other artists around them. We don't really recognize every opportunity that we have. Sometimes it has to smack us in the face. And our willingness to take the abuse is a bad word right now. Sorry. But you know what I'm saying. We're all here because we have benefited from learning from each other, and we listen to each other, and we support each other. And that's like the biggest thing, is the support in the community, men and women within our community, and that's what keeps the ball rolling.
The biggest difference between our emerging artists and our more established artists is that all of our... Here comes my mic man.
Hi, everybody. I actually never went to makeup school. I was an artist, and there weren't really very many makeup schools available when I started, and I also lived in another country, so the fact, even the dream of working in Hollywood just seemed like, a dream. It didn't seem like it was something that would ever come true, and circumstances happened, and I ended up moving to California, and I basically just had to practice on every type of person I could get my hands on, every race, every age, every pimple, everything. And we didn't have the websites, and there were obviously no computers to look up different makeup schools or different videos, and we really had to learn from each other and learn from actors. A lot of established actors that I got a chance to work with actually would teach me things that had been done on them by masters, and I traveled a lot, and just said yes to every job, but I didn't have the luxury of going to a makeup school, so it made it a lot more challenging. So you can still, like a lot of people don't have money to go to makeup school, but you have so many other options now with the internet and with products too. We didn't have the products, all these makeup lines that you have now. It was very limited, so you really had to think out of the box. And I felt that I didn't really have a formula to follow because I didn't go to makeup school, so it gave me more freedom to come up with my own style. So I do tell people, even when you go to makeup schools, to try to think outside the box and come up with your own style, so you're not doing a paint by numbers type makeup. You come up with, you're not copying what your teacher did, you kind of make your own style. So.
Okay, anyone else like to address that? The training versus no, school training versus life training? Jennifer? Yeah.
Talking about schools. I think as an artist, you have that in you, and I think that going to school is a great option to help you learn a little bit about everything and figure out what part of our craft speaks to you and where your skill set is, and I think it's a great starting point. But I believe, like everyone else has been verbalizing, you really have to take it to the next level if you're going to survive in our industry, because there's so much out there to do and learn. And I think that once you learn the basics in school, it's the person that takes it the next step and keeps learning and keeps growing and keeps studying and keeps talking to people and keeps exploring their art. And those are the people that are going to keep moving forward for a more lengthier career, I believe, because that brings out your artistry. And that's what makes you unique as an artist or as a makeup artist in the industry, is your own personal style and your own personal take on whatever it is that we're doing. And I also believe that you need to make sure you keep studying the craft, because like we've all said, it keeps changing and morphing, and those of us that have been in it for many years have seen huge transitions of techniques and not just styles, but mediums and materials and all of the things that even on the other side of the camera, the film stocks and the lighting and all of that keeps changing. So you really have to stay up on all of that. But I want to add something to the building your career part too. I think that as a department head, we look for certain things in people, and some of those things are things like being professional and showing up on time and being willing to do whatever is asked of you, and on top of that, continuing to study your craft are things that I always, when I teach, I always kind of bring up is make sure you're present and make sure you're there for your department, and make sure you do let go of your ego and leave that outside, so that when you do come into the job, you're willing to participate in whatever's needed, because those are the things that directors and department heads and artists and actors need. And part of our job is to be there to support that team. We're sort of commercial artists. We're there to give the director and the producer and the writer their vision. And so it's important that we have our craft in place and have our professionalism in place and let go of our own egos so that we can give them what they need. And that's why I feel is really important when you're going to get out there and build your careers, to acknowledge that it's really us giving them what they need within the restrictions of the script and within the restrictions of the actors' needs, and giving our creativeness to them the best that we can. So that's my opinion.
With people that you like, and it's hard to spend time with, because we work sometimes 16 or 17 hours a day sometimes, or sometimes more. But for the most part, it's like, about 15 to 16 hours a day, and you want to be with people that you like. So a lot of that is professionalism and low maintenance. You don't want to be like, where's that person? They're late, or it's fine if it's an emergency, but if it's consistent, you kind of have to weed those people out. So
Okay, well, let me ask you this. What if you're in a position where you've been hired on, and people around you are temperamental, if they're difficult to be with. What do you, as a makeup artist, do? You're not in the position to hire or fire. How do you deal with that?
There's a lot of smiling and waving going on, I think. There's a little, I mean, I think you just kind of keep to your business, and you have to read a room. I mean, you have to kind of you have to kind of get along. You have to have good skills to get along as a team, or see if you can help other people out in areas. And I think sometimes when you go into a job that, you know, maybe somebody's a little more challenging to work for, that, you know, going into it, and you're there to be a team player, so that's your job. You're not there to argue with somebody or cause a problem. So I think a lot of it is just, you know, having a good temperament, your own self, knowing when to kind of, you know, brush that off your shoulder and just get the job done.
Karen, do you have something to add, either to how to sustain a career, advice to sustain a career, talent, training?
Oh my gosh, how much time do we have?
I know.
I'll talk about someone who didn't mind their own business. I'll talk about someone who didn't mind their own business and had a big ego, and that person was me. So I was on a job once, and the department head pulled me aside and said, look, I didn't hire you to make the department easier, or to make it faster, or to save me money, or to make it better. I hired you to do a job. And, you know, I was being chastised for trying to save money for that person and to make it faster. And I realized, okay, I'm not the department head. I'm there as a worker, and I need to come in just to do the job and need to, like everyone says, I have to put my ego aside. And it's tough because, you know, we get hired because of our expertise and we know what we're doing, otherwise we wouldn't have been hired for that job. So for me, you know, I thought I knew better than other people, you know, and it took a while. I was pretty young, working in makeup effects, and I had to realize that I have to let all that, you know, basically leave that out of the door, and like Erin said, and then just be a part of the group. And it's tough because we're all individual, and we all have different personalities, and we all have pretty healthy egos, you know, and I don't care if someone's gonna deny it or not, but we do in order to sustain a livelihood in this business, because this business is cutthroat, and it's vicious at times, and I came in a part where there weren't a lot of women doing makeup effects. You know, you had to stand your own with men, you know, and be able to work side by side and do the same job. And, you know, for me, it was a good lesson, you know. And I have to admit, when like I did a job, I did these old age commercials in Brazil. And I was called and was the department head, and I could bring one person. So I thought of all the people I could choose. I don't know if you know a man named Rick Stratton, but him and I are friends, and he's really good, far better than me, you know. And someone had said it, I think it was Erica, you know, you surround yourself by people that I will surround myself by people that I think are as good as I am or better than me. Because if I get in a bind, I want to be able to go to them and get me out of that bind. You know, and and that allowed me to, we did you know, these 3 commercials did a really great job. It was an interesting job going to Sao Paulo. But I've also worked on shows where the department head picks people whose work isn't as good as their work, so they shine. And that makes it hard too, because, you know, it's a team effort, you know, and you're calling on the talents of all these different people. But in the long run, you know, you have to be able to put your ego aside and say, okay, the department head's going to change my makeup, and I'm not the one going to change it, and it doesn't matter, you know? And now I'm going to end with this little story. I was on Reno 911, and there's an actress named Nishi Nash, and I was the second on the show, and she loves her makeup. You know, she does it a specific way. She knows her own skin, she knows her own colors. And she came in and she said to me, I don't allow anyone to touch my face. I do my own makeup. I said, okay. And she asked me, does that bother you? I said, no. Doesn't bother me. Why doesn't it bother you? That's because apparently she's been up against other makeup artists and they're offended that they're not allowed to say, look, whether you do the makeup or I do the makeup, I'm going to get paid the same amount of money. So if I sit here and read a magazine or go get a snack or something, I'm being paid the same amount of money if I was busting my ass doing your makeup. But if you want me to hand you things, I'll do that, you know. And she just thought that was the funniest thing, and then after that, she started letting me do her makeup. By the end of the show, I was doing her makeup. But it was just an interesting thing, because you know what? You want to do the makeup? Man, I'd love it if all the actors did their own makeup and still got paid. And do you need a tissue? You know.
All right, what life lessons have you brought to the industry? What kind of life lessons has the industry brought to you? Look at them. They're so excited. Any thoughts?
I'll answer it.
I think the best life lesson is loyalty. And the loyalty that people have with you and that you instill in others, like, because we all have our people, like, that we love to work with, and being loyal and truthful and honest all the time, you know, so no drama does occur, but recognizing the loyalty of your crew and your friends and the support and trust in that, and that's probably one of the things. I mean, I'm very loyal to many people, and you get that loyalty back, and that's what makes the trailer and your work environment and your own personal very strong.
Thanks, Tammy. Life lessons?
Yeah, I think one important life lesson as a makeup artist on the set is, of course you've got to have a great bedside manner and how you get along with everybody, but in a way we are kind of like, you know, in Downton Abbey, we're the person who's taking care of the actor or the hero basically. And we have to understand our place, and our ego really has to not be there, and we have to be there and attentive and thinking all the time, what do they need? What does the makeup need? And looking at all the extras on set and looking artistically at everything that they're shooting and making sure it's perfect. And also it's important that you make the team that you're working with look the same way. Like, in other words, look and see as if you're an artist. Is there a shadow that's too much? Is a lipstick too strong? Is a color not harmonizing with the wardrobe? If you don't really take that into account and really think as an artist, that really won't give you a great look to the film in the end, because there's nothing as bad as watching a leading lady in a film and suddenly you're going, oh, why does she have that horrible eyeshadow? It's really taking me out of the thing. Or it's distracting me from the scene. Or someone has a mustache that's not quite perfect. It's a little askew because no one's paying attention. If your eye isn't laser perfect all the time, and I used to have a little loop on the set, and I would zone in on all the actors one by one and make sure that there's no flaw, there's nothing that's going to distract. And of course with HD it's even more important. That's super important, and I think it's very important too when you work with a team that everybody feels as creative as you, and that I always made sure that everybody I worked with felt that they were very, very important, and that their creativity and their artistry was valued, and they're not just a brush for hire or somebody painting by numbers as per me, that they had a lot of rope basically. Of course, if they took over, then that wasn't good. But I do like to feel that the team is working as a harmonious artistic group, and that they're all looking with their eyes. Is the hair on? Is the beard right? Is the foundation looking blotchy? Does someone need a touch up? Who's too shiny? And all of those things have to be watched all day long. And that's super important, you know, because that, in the end, is what's in the film and what we're shooting. All the rest is not important, because when they see the dailies or you see the film, that's what you're going to see. So you have to think like an artist and see things like an artist.
So my life-altering life lesson has been a shift in perspective and also patience. I have come a long way learning how to be a lot more patient with people, a lot more patient with my family, a lot more patient with myself and my misgivings. But I teach a lot of people. I go and I teach workshops around the world. And in my background, I've come from a country that has war, and I've experienced war. I've served, I've seen many very harsh things. So on set, when the day gets long, when it's tense, when your feet start hurting, when your back is aching, I just say to myself that the majority of the world does not get to do what we do. The majority of the world has to go out, lay bricks in the sun, or a single mother going out to feed her children at a desk job that she hates for 20 years. We are very, very, very lucky and blessed to stand in front of monitors making these actors look beautiful and taking care of them so that they can go on and make these people who are working hard jobs smile and watch a movie and, you know, take a little bit of stress off while they're working hard to feed their kids. So that shift in perspective is something that I cling to, and I feel very blessed to do what I do.
Personally, when I first started working, I was a mold maker in shops, and I loved it. I was a shop rat for years, and I took a class taught by Michael Westmore, and I brought him my book and said, I do molds, and I would love to do molds for you. And he said, we have to be in the union. He goes, call me when you get in the union. So like 2 years later, I ended up getting in. And I called him, and he hired me. And he has done so much for so many people, and that's how I learned how to be a department head, was watching Michael Westmore, because he was so good to so many of us up here. But also he had incredible skills with people and being human and treating people on a personal level, and I try to think of that every day when I'm working as the department head, of what my team needs, and if they have something that they need to do, that I make it work for them, because I know how he did that for me, and so for so many other people.
We've asked Michael to join us for the book signing outside, so he will be one other man among these beautiful women. So just so you know, he'll be there, I think.
I think the one word that describes everything I've gone through is persistence. I have persisted through everything. I never let anyone tell me no. I would never say no. I would try everything. I would do everything, but persistence got me here. I mean, I would go to the makeup union when I wasn't in the union and say, can I be on the roster? And they said, no, we don't ever take anyone off the roster. I said, could you put me on the roster? And I would do this. I did this for like 8 years. And well, I worked in the shops as well, and I just persisted, and I got called off that roster, and I got in. So that's my thing, and you just keep persisting. You wouldn't have written the book without persisting. So yeah, that's my one word for everyone.
Okay, before I have him stand and bow, we will be doing a book signing afterwards. It's going to be straight out that door. There'll be a table and cute pens and books. So if you'd like to join us there, we'd love to have you. In the meantime, please thank Our Lady.